connecting Indigenous musicians and artists to the world. Welcome to Indigenous Superstars with your host, Rhonda Head.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm coming to you live from Begetty, Manitoba, the heart of Opaskwayak Cree Nation. And just want to let you know that the show is being streamed live on YouTube on my YouTube channel. So you can go onto my YouTube channel and you can subscribe and go check out the awesome artists that I've interviewed in the past. And we're also streaming live on Twitter, on my Facebook page, on my fan page, and on the Indigenous Superstars page. Also want to let you know that we're also on the Indigenous Superstars website, and it also goes on iHeartRadio podcast and iTunes podcast and Spotify podcast. So it's really getting out there, and we also have it on social distance Palo. So it's hopefully everyone will get to listen to these shows because they're really fantastic artists that I get to have conversations with, and they get to perform for us live as well. They're awesome original music. Other thing that I'm still working on is the Indigenous Superstar app. So that'll be coming soon. So I'm really excited about that as well. And I have a really amazing guest tonight, like I always do every time the show is. Indigenous artists are so awesome. So tonight we have Tara Williamson, and I'm going to just read her bio for you. Tara Williamson is a Victoria-based poet and provocateur, the spark that ignites the flame. A First Nations singer-songwriter, her music is an unflinching document of self, the truth that hurts before it heals. Her first two EPs, Lie Low, produced by Jane McKenty, and Indian Summer, produced by Kenny Starr, were received with praise and made it on numerous music blogs and countdowns across Turtle Island. Her newest album, Songs to Keep Us Warm, produced by Jim Bryson, builds on the clever songwriting and expressive vocals heard in her first two EPs while revealing the deep heart of an artist willing to risk vulnerability in the pursuit of emotional truth. These songs remind us how love changes our voice. Songs to Keep Us Warm features collaborations with Leanne Simpson and Chris Dirksen, and was nominated for Best Pop Album at the 2017 Indigenous Music Awards. Not only a recording and performing artist, Tara is also a professional writer and educator. She served as the editor of the online Indigenous media platform Indian and Cowboy, and spearheaded by Ryan McMahon, and is developing a musical about missing and murdered Indigenous women under the mentorship of Thompson Highway. Please welcome my beautiful friend, Tara Williamson. Yay!
Just so extra. It always feels so extra listening to your like fancy, someone read your fancy professional bio.
It's awesome.
You're good. Yeah, thanks.
It's so impressive. I'm so glad you were able to be my guest tonight.
Me too. I know we keep scheduling. We're gonna make it happen. We kept scheduling and rescheduling, but it was gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's happening right now, live on Indigenous. Right. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions before we get to hear your first piece. I just want to ask you, what inspired you to get into music?
Whoa, I don't even know. I mean, I guess, my parents, my mom said I always liked music and would dance around and sing when it came on. But, I think it was, I had a public music school teacher, Mrs. Ray, who I think I was grade 7 or grade 8 or something when she told my parents, she was like, Tara should probably take voice lessons. Like, Tara's really musical. And I also had some friends who had a piano, and we would play I remember Bryan Adams. We played a lot of Bryan Adams and the Easy Songbooks. And so it was just sort of organic. Like nobody in my family is really musical. Like both my brothers sort of played a bit of guitar here and there, but it was just sort of organic. And then people recognizing in me that I like that music, that I should probably play music, and how can we make that happen? So yeah, so public music, there should be music classes in public school.
And that's what got you started into writing your own music?
Yeah. So after that, I did start taking voice lessons, and then my parents got me, it was my grad gift, but they got it for me when I was like 15 or 16, like before I graduated. I'm glad they knew I was going to graduate. But they got me a keyboard when I was about 15 or 16. And that's when I started writing music. And I actually, there's probably only one other person, one of my best friends, who remembers my very first song I wrote. It was so bad, but it wasn't. It was great. It was a 15-year-old writing a song. But so I started writing music. I listened to a lot of Sarah McLachlan, because that's my generation. And people recognizing I should play music and take lessons. And then my parents doing, we didn't have a lot of money or anything. Like them buying me a keyboard was a big deal. And so being able to be in my room, my brothers always said they knew when I was angry or having feelings, because I would put my headphones into my keyboard and they could just hear me. They could just hear the sound of like banging on the on the piano. So so I guess that's it. Like it just sort of happened, when you can't not do it. You can't not, like, if it's in you, you can't not do it. And I was lucky that I had people who helped me do it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's true. When it's in you, you cannot do it. It comes out. It wants to come out, and it will, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so awesome. So where do you get your melodies from your songs? So sometimes, like for a long time, I would write, I'd play chords on the piano, and then I would work around that. And I still do that sometimes, but more recently, I don't know. They come to me, and if I'll record them on my phone or something now, if they come to me, or I'll, and so now I've actually the last few years, I've been doing it the other way around, where I like have a melody and then I work the accompaniment to the melody, except for guitar, because guitar is my is my secondary instrument. And so, I guess third instrument. And so guitar, I still I try to play around, because I only know, like, I'm not that great at guitar. I shouldn't apologize, because I'm going to play guitar later, but, so I don't know where they come from. Some songs, some songs are, I call them gift songs, where they just it just happens and it comes out all at once. And other ones, you have to work at more. It's always influenced by what I'm listening to at the time. So like, depending, if I'm listening to a lot of pop music, it'll be really poppy, or folk music or whatever. But yeah, sometimes they just come to me while I'm walking, or while I'm walking. Actually, walking. They come to me a lot while I'm walking, and I walk a lot. So that's awesome. So we're at the time of the show where we're gonna get to hear one of your pieces. Are you ready to play?
Sure. Yeah. Let's get right to it. Oh, it's just me. Okay. So this song is it's called The Prairies, and I wrote it a long time ago. Actually, I wrote it when I was like 19, living in Montreal, and then I recorded it on the Songs to Keep Us Warm album. But I recorded a different version because I wanted to change the melody, because I'd been playing it for so long. But when I play it live, I always go back to the original melody. And I've been thinking a lot about home and the prairies. So especially today, guys, lockdown. Jeez. Okay.
Let me tell you about the prairies and their vast wheat fields of gold. How the bitter winter evenings will chill you to the bone, and how you can spend forever with the sunsets growing old. Let me tell you about the prairies. make home. The people there are friendly, all happy to be alive. So they live their lives with passion, so that nothing passes by. And there is time to smell the lilac song, and time just to have time to be grateful for their prairies and the people in their lives. I have been across this country from sea to shining sea. I have lived among the people. I have gained new families. But there is nothing quite as precious, oh, as the feeling of passing by my prairie homeland and my deep blue prairie sky. So when I'm feeling angry, oh, or bitter or alone, I wallow in my heartache, go and search inside for home. 'Cause there are people there who love me, oh, and they will love you too. Bring your hunger for ferocious love. I will show you harvest moon. Let me tell you about the prairies and the vast big fields of gold. How the bitter winter evenings will chill you to the bone, and how you can spend forever with the sunsets growing old. Let me tell you about prairies and why they feel like home. Feel like home.
That was beautiful.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Tears to my eyes.
Oh, you know what? I put Kleenex beside me because sometimes it makes me cry. So, and I'm missing everyone. So,
Oh,
I was
that was beautiful. Yeah, here I am in the prairies, and I'm thinking about the prairies.
yeah. So, because I'm from OCN. I mean, I grew up in Swan. I was adopted, so I grew up in Swan Lake. But I'm a member at OCN. So also
Yeah, that's
OCN.
what I was gonna mention that you're from OCN, and OCN is the community where I'm from. So we're probably cousins, right?
Probably we are. Especially like I see nobody in my family is a musician, but probably it's you. Actually, that's not true. My niece Haven is a musician. So they're coming up.
That's awesome. Maybe she'll be maybe I'll be interviewing her in a couple of years, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. So I want to talk about an award that you just won. The Joseph S. Stauffer Award that you received from the Canada Council for the Arts. Can you tell us about that?
I can tell you it was a really big honor and surprise. Like I've never won a prize, an award like that before. So so they pick people in visual arts, writing, and music every year. And as far as I understand, what happens is you get recommended from the jury. So I'd received a Canada Council grant to do my next album, actually, which is mostly done. I just have to figure out how to release it in COVID. And out of that jury process, they send it to a next another jury, I guess, another sort of a group of professionals. And so, yeah, it was such an honor. It was such a, like, it felt really, because like, I don't know how you define where you are in your career, but I feel like I'm mid-career. Like, I'm no longer like brand new and exciting and everyone's like, oh, who's this? Now it's like, she makes music, whatever. And I'm not. So it's sort of this in-between stage where you almost have to hustle more and you have to like, you know, push it more. And so, and they called me like relatively early on in pandemic, like I knew for a couple months before they announced it. And it was such a, it felt really, I mean, it feels great, of course, to be recognized, but also just at that time, you know, we're all like, how are we going to make music again? When's the next time we're going to be in a place again? And does this even matter? And all those sorts of things. So it was a really good boost to remind you like, oh yeah, art does matter, and it is, and people are paying attention. And so, yeah, I was very, very honored to receive it.
It's so exciting. I was so happy to hear when you won that award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I also want to let the audience know that you're very academic. And you're a professional writer and an educator, and you have several degrees.
Several degrees.
Can you tell us about all the degrees that you have?
Sure. It's funny because earlier, like saying like you can't not make music. When I went to school, I didn't stop playing per se, but like kinda, because I was focusing on, and I was trying to be like, oh, I don't want to be a musician. I don't know why. I just didn't. I was like, I don't want to be a musician. I want to do other things. And so I got all these degrees. And I remember at the end of when I convocated with the last ones, I was saying like, oh, I wonder what I'll do now. And my dad was like, you're going to get a job. Like, even if I didn't. So I have a social work degree. I did a BSW at the University of Manitoba. And then I did a law degree at the University of Victoria, and also a master's in arts in Indigenous governance. And so I have 3 degrees. And so I essentially took almost 10 years off of music. And then at the end of all of this, my dad's like, you should get a job, Tara. And then within a couple of years, I teach at colleges and universities in different places. I currently work at the Indigenous Law Research Unit, which is this really cool job looking at like not necessarily traditional law, but Indigenous law, and like how communities can revitalize that. And but after a couple of years, after all that schooling, I realized I couldn't not play music. So it's figuring out how to balance it, which I'm not super great at yet. Maybe never will be, but yeah, I went to school for a long time. And thank Miigwech OCN for paying for a lot of that. Not all of it, but a lot of that school. So
yeah, OCN is a great supporter of their members for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to read some of the comments that are coming in. Falcon Ann said, "Hello, my friend."
Is it my friend or your friend? Do I know Falcon?
Oh, your friend. And Yuri Kapla.
Oh.
And CZAPLA, he said, very good. Jack Holland said, wow, beautiful voice and awesome talent. I love piano. Can't play to save my life, but people love hearing it. Sherry Burns from OCN said, cool and wow. And she's really excited to hear you. And Otana Brown from New Mexico said, yeah. So that must mean they're awesome and they're like,
it must mean that's what it must mean.
Yes, I know Utana. I met her a couple of years ago in New Mexico, and she's a big fan of Indigenous artists. So thank you for tuning in, Utana.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. It's always like we were saying, it's like how hard it is, you know, again, with like COVID and how do you play and whatever. So
Yeah, it's really great that the audience gets to be part of the show as well. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them tune in every week, or when I have the show, I usually have it twice a week, and a lot of them tune in all the time and watch, or if they can't tune in, they'll watch it at a later date. So it's really, I have a really awesome program called StreamYard, and it works really well for this show. So yeah, and I'm really glad that you got to come on today. And Tana said, "You're welcome, Rhonda."
Awesome. Thanks, Donna. Also, like we just interpreted your language or whatever, We
Yeah,
hope we were pretty close. I don't know.
What does that mean in your language? Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. So it must mean that you're appreciating the music for sure. Like I'm sure everyone else is. Oh, it means hello.
Oh, it means hello. Okay, so look, we're just like, it must mean you're awesome.
Because you're awesome.
You're awesome too. I was trying to think of when we met. Do you remember when we met? I was trying to think. I don't remember exactly. I feel like I remember introducing myself to you somewhere.
We met, I believe, at I believe it was Pony Corral.
At the IMAs when I host, yeah.
Yeah, when they were having a I don't know, it was an open mic at that time.
That was a bit of a shit show of a thing. Hey, that was I was like, what? I was supposed to just be hosting, and then I turned into the stage manager, trying to do sound, doing everything. I was like, wait, but it was fun. It was super fun.
Yeah, I got to host it 1 year at the Queenshead pub, and oh my god, it was so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's so, and then like everybody's there from everywhere. Like that's again that vibe. I'm looking forward again to that like vibe of people are there and from everywhere and sharing music and supporting each other and like yeah.
Isn't that the greatest feeling when you're in a room full of artists? How that energy that we all give off on each other is so amazing, and I can't wait to have that feeling again when we get to meet up again and yeah, just embrace each other and love each other, and I just miss that. I miss all our friends and family that we made on the music circuit.
I know. And think about how much, and also like, I mean, at the end of last year, beginning this year, because last year I did a lot of traveling and like, you travel a lot anyway, but end of the year I was like, hey, Terry, you got to figure out, you can't travel this much. It's not like, it's too much. And, but I didn't mean for it to be a pandemic. Like I didn't mean to cut off all my travel forever, but so I'm also looking forward to not as much travel, but traveling to all be together again.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. I totally miss traveling. Totally miss it.
Yeah, you travel a lot.
Yeah.
You drove me home from the airport last time we were traveling.
I was supposed to be in Australia and New York and Los Angeles and Vancouver and Winnipeg. So I totally miss traveling and miss meeting people and being with the music family and friends, and it's yeah.
And for viewers who may not have, I mean, I'm sure you've pieced it together, but for viewers, like Rhonda's like the social butterfly and the connector of people at these things. Like I've met so many people through Rhonda, just being like, oh, I've just been chilling with this really like cool, wonderful musician from XYZ, and yeah. So if that wasn't obvious to viewers, like yeah, you were the social butterfly of the events.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why this show came about was I all our gigs got canceled, so I thought I need to, how are we going to get our music out there and keep promoting our music, and because our music is so beautiful and the world needs to hear it, and so I came up with this show, and I had so many friends around the world who that I would love to interview, and there's still lots more that I have to interview. And it's so exciting. And one of my friends said, well, how come you're doing a show twice a week? I said, because he goes, you're going to run out of musicians. I went, no way. There's so many Indigenous musicians.
I know people don't know, right? People like, you see, there's this
world.
All over. Yeah. And amazing musicians, right? That's it. It's not like, yeah, totally.
So I thought, no, I'll never run out of musicians, because there's emerging musicians coming up too, and there's just so many to interview.
I know, and everyone loves you, so it's also like you ask, you're like, yeah, I'll go, of course, I want to hang out with you on your show.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I just love it. It brings joy to my heart for sure. So with that, we're gonna go with your second song. So you're
okay. I hope my guitar's tuned. My guitar needs to be needs a tune up, but it's COVID, so I don't even know if the guitar shop's open or how that works. Also, I just made all these comments about how it's not my best instrument, but it doesn't matter. We're chilling. So this is a song I wrote in COVID. It's a COVID song called "Shelter in Place," and I'm working on it being a duet with a friend of mine right now. We're gonna try and figure out how to make it a duet and record it. He's in Ontario. Like we're gonna figure it out. We're all gonna be creative about it. But what does it mean to be still? To watch the world go by while you're frozen in time. What does it mean to be well? Do you see me? I'm trying. I try. Shelter in place when you're lost. Shelter in place, and I'll come find you when the days don't mean nothing to anyone. Your heart is tired, your mind is overrun. Shelter in place, I'm coming to bring you home. What does it mean to be alone? Infinite time, but nowhere to go. Nobody dies before their time. Shelter in place when you're lost. Shelter in place, and I'll come find you when the days don't mean nothing to anyone. Your heart is tired, your mind is overrun. Shelter in place, I'm coming to bring you home. What does it mean to be still? To watch the world go by while you're frozen in time. What does it mean to be well? No, you see me, I'm trying, I try.
Awesome.
God, thank you. Thanks. Put that back. Yeah, COVID songs.
I know. I'm working on a COVID song.
I was gonna ask. I was like, it's been months. It's been months now. Like our dreams have COVID in them now.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I've been working on my well, the words are pretty well almost done. I'm just gonna work on the melody. So that's where I'm at.
And are you? Because I know you sing a lot in Cree. Are you fluent in Cree?
I'm not fluent in Cree, but the more that I sing in the Cree language, because I have to research the Cree language, and that my language has come back.
Yeah, singing music is one of the best ways, because I was So I was adopted Nishnabek. But I was raised by my a lot by my kuku, and so I grew up with a lot of language. Like I really understood lots when I was little, and as it's when you say it comes back, you're like, I don't know where it went somewhere. People stopped talking to me when you went to school or whatever, but music is one of the best ways to, and because you sing classically, like I train classically. So it's like, yeah, I can sing in French and Italian and German and Latin and all these other languages. But so I think it's amazing when you're like, I love listening to your songs in Cree. And same with Thompson Highway. Thompson Highway has some great songs in Cree as well, because it's such a good way to learn a language and to remember it.
Yeah, it's great. That's for sure. I find that I do, like I sing in Italian and French and Latin and Spanish and Portuguese, and I thought, well, you know what? I just put a hold on it. I went, hold on a second. I should be singing in my own language.
Okay, so listen, I know it's past 30 minutes, but that's what, so I went to music school very briefly. I went to the conservatory at McGill for about 6 weeks. But one of the reasons, there's a few reasons I left and essentially dropped out and didn't tell anyone until way later. One of them was exactly that, was that I was like, I'm singing in all of these languages, doing all this, and I don't know any traditional songs. I can't sing in my language. Like it felt really, I don't know, disingenuous or insincere or something. And I try and use here and there, I'll put language in songs the best that I can. But so I love that you're doing that. You're realizing it.
Thanks. So what I did with my song is I started translating the words into Cree, and I found that like in Italian song, I put Cree in there, and it was the same. Like this.
What song is it? I just want to find out.
I did it with O mio bambino caro.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, wait a minute, and then I started to see like the Cree language is flowing beautifully as Italian and in French, and I thought, whoa, Cree is another language of love.
Because it's so beautiful.
It is, and it just fit perfectly. I thought, wow, I discovered something amazing.
Could I like, I'm just putting it out there. There's no pressures or whatever. One of my favorite songs is Amarili Mia Bella. So if you were looking in, as you continue to do Italian songs in Cree, Amarili Mia Bella and Caro Mio Ben are two of my favorite art songs.
Message me those songs and I'll do some research on it. I know Carmium. Oh man, that was one of the first songs I learned today.
Yeah, because I was gonna say because like that was it was like grade 7, grade 8 vocal or something. But okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. I would love to
just putting it's like your show interviewing me and I'm putting in requests for you for songs.
That's awesome though. That's cool. That's so where can the audience find your music online?
Yeah. So my website is tarawilliamson.net because there's another Tara Williamson and it's great. We're in touch with each other. We get each other's, she's in Portland, she does jazz. So I'm .net, I think she's .com. A plug for another musician. So I do have music on Bandcamp. So if you just Bandcamp Tara Williamson, Google, there's one album missing from Bandcamp for whatever reason that we're figuring out. But like Apple, all the places. So like Spotify, Apple Music, all the places. If you just sort of Google and look stuff up, I have the most. I have a new album. Like we're figuring it out in COVID how to release it. So there is a single called "Enfolding," that's just the newest single from that album. And again, I think if you just Google, it'll show up on any of your streaming platforms, even ones I don't even know exist, like Deezer. Do you know what Deezer? I don't know. I just know that.
I heard about Deezer.
Me too, but I don't really know what it is. But I know my song is there.
But apparently I'm in there too.
Exactly. You're like, I don't even know what streaming platforms I'm on, but pretty much any one that you use, you should be able to find it. Oh, my microphone fell over. Sorry.
And I'm going to be adding one of your songs to the Indigenous Superstars Spotify playlist. So
great.
It'll be on there too. And I'm going to be promoting it again, probably within the week again, to let the audience know on social media that all these amazing artists that are on there that I have interviewed so far. And
yeah, I'm honored to be on it. I've seen the people I've seen, and yeah, I'm honored to be on it. There's are amazing artists, and you're right. There's endless, like that when people think there's only whoever they've heard of.
Oh, there's lots.
There's lots.
Tons of musicians. So I just want to announce that the next musical guest is Fawn Wood. Stay safe, stay healthy. Do you have any parting words that you want to say?
I just want to say, because again, I know today's the day Manitoba went into full lockdown. So same thing. I just want to say, like, stay safe and follow, it sucks for everyone, but if you just stick to the crappy guidelines that suck, it means maybe I can come home for Christmas. So yeah, stay safe and stay healthy, and really, really appreciate people right now, because we all miss each other. So
yeah, we miss each other. Make sure you providing COVID is over or is under control in Manitoba. We got a visit when you come home.
Yeah.
And I just want to give an update about our COVID, what's going on in OCN, our COVID-19 update. Today we got 7 new cases, and we have 47 active cases in our community, and 31 have recovered. And Manitoba goes on code red on Thursday for 4 weeks, and Paskwayak, my reserve, just went on lockdown today immediately for 2 weeks. So please send prayers for us, and please sending out prayers to the people who have been affected by COVID in my community. Yeah, and Kisagitin.
Kisagitin. Kinanaskamatin. Thank you, Miigwech.
Tune in again next time when Rhonda interviews another up-and-coming Indigenous superstar. Only on Indigenous Superstars.